Hey everyone, I'm Pine and welcome to Hover Revolt of Gamers. What is Hover Revolt of Gamers, you ask? I like to call it an open-world multiplayer free-running game and a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. It released around 3 months ago and was in early access for around 2 years prior to that, and this is what it looks like. So, as I said, this game entered early access around 2 years ago, and back then I covered it already, and I quite enjoyed it. It has two big issues. One of them was performance and the other one was a lack of content. Both of those issues are resolved and now I quite enjoy the game. I usually don't cover games that have released multiple months ago, but I make an exception for this one because I actually enjoy it and I think it's worth sharing. So, as you can see, it's a free running game. You run around, you jump, you slide, you wall run, you wall ride. Wall jump is the word I was trying to say. And do races, collect things, and do other various tasks. And yeah, as I said, I quite enjoy it for what it is. Most of the mechanics, or the freerunning mechanic, revolves around the energy meter you can see in the lower right. Basically, as long as it is full, or the fuller it is, the quicker you are, the higher you jump. And when it depletes, you get slower and can't jump as high anymore. And you refill it by doing tricks and doing combos and grinding and stuff like that. And so you're trying to be quick while also being stylish. Like that, for example. No, that didn't... Well, maybe it worked. No, it really didn't. I want to get up there, but maybe we can just... No, I have to go up there. I need to get up there because the checkpoint's actually up there. So let's get back up there. Oh no, I got captured by one of the police bots. Yeah, the story in this game is worth mentioning as well. That didn't cancel the race though. It just slowed me down a little bit. The story is actually that the new mayor of the city forbid all gaming, or I think all entertainment in fact. And now the gamers are revolting and trying to, well, claim back their city. And I'm not quite sure what they're actually trying to achieve exactly, but you're doing various things like destroying anti-gamer ads, collecting game consoles, and things like that, and just doing races and play games and stuff like that. And yeah, the story is a little weird, but it's quite fun. I should mention that I never have played the Jet Set Radio games. I think I would have enjoyed them back then, but I never got them, so that's a shame. But now I'm playing Hover, and I enjoy that, so that's great. So this race is actually pretty difficult, and races are an important part of the game. It's open world, and there are different missions you can pick up, and races are one kind of those missions, or one type of those missions. Others are, as I said earlier, collecting items and destroying ads and stuff like that, or the game ball games, which is basically a form of basketball, more or less. Where you collect the game balls, which is a game console, which is, well, not cubic, spheric, and you throw it into thingies, and that gives you points. It doesn't make much sense, but it's a game in this world, and so how can I... I did this better before, I'm not sure how though. Okay, never mind, I ran out of time for this race anyway. So let's stop doing that and do something else. I lost against the Dark Gamer apparently. This is another player. As I said, the game is multiplayer. This is actually a pirate. The developers, the game got pirated quite a bit, but the developers decided to let them people play it, but mark their names in red and give them a silly message so everyone can see that they are pirates. It's an interesting anti-piracy move. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but that should not be the topic of this video. So let's just, well, keep that as a mention and move on. So yeah, what is there to do besides races? As I said, different things. I'm trying to find some things. Well, now I triggered one of those robots, those police robots. He detected I'm a gamer, well actually the camera did, and he's trying to capture me now, which will not actually capture me permanently. As you saw earlier, it just freezes you in place for a moment. And that can screw you over. Oh, there are... Can I do that while he's chasing me? If I don't screw up. Okay, well, too slow. Can still do it anyway. So they have there's a different thing you can do with those bots. Or oh, actually, that teleported me back. Interesting. It doesn't do that during races, but apparently it does that while you're not in a mission. So there's a mission where you try to lure those bots into traps for them. And then there are those flies like that one, which you try to hit multiple times. Apparently it's going the other direction. 20 times to get this one. Well, this will be a tough one. Let's see if I can actually get that. Over here. Also, you saw me earlier trying to spray paint over anti-gamer ads. Then there are also those holo ads which you can destroy. Where did it go? Up here, apparently. I was quick enough, I'm surprised. Down there, that should be possible. That's a long route. Usually they have left hits. Usually you only have to hit them like 7 or 10 times or something. Can I get over there? No, but maybe... No, this is not gonna work out. I have a limited time, it will despawn now. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's not go for that. And there we go. Some other good examples. So this is a gamer girl. It's like a Game Boy, but in pink. And you collect it. It's just a collectible. And this is a container which gives you upgrades. Because this game is also an RPG. And that's actually my biggest issue I have with the game. Oh, this is one of those traps. If I lure a bot in here, I can trap him in that thing. Not sure if you can see it there on the wall. It is. And down there, there's a holo ad. Let's get that. You have to run through them or do something like that. You just have to go quickly through them. That will destroy them. Oh, there's another gamer girl. Let's get back up there. This is the reverse mechanic. You can reverse, not time, but yourself. So you will go back where you were a few seconds ago. This is fairly limited. You can only do it for like 10 seconds or something. But it's very useful. It feels a little bit like cheating, but it actually makes a lot of sense in this game, I think. Because most of the time... it doesn't give you an unfair advantage or anything in a mission. It usually just allows you to revert errors you made, and that's okay, I think, because the errors can be quite painful, especially if you're falling down. Like if you're falling down here and you have a long time getting back up here, and that can be very frustrating. So I think that's a good mechanic to be in here. And as I said, it only gives you a few seconds. Like it helps you to make your mistakes a little smaller, but the mistakes are still painful enough to kill your missions and stuff like that. So that's a thing. It's a race I already did. I could redeploy that and redo it. Let's not. And yeah, so I want to talk about the RPG mechanics. So the RPG mechanics are actually the worst part of the game, in my opinion. I understand why they are in here, but I think they do more harm than good. So let's open up my character menu. So this is my character menu, and you can see there are multiple slots. I unlocked almost all of them because I got my character to almost max level. I think there's only one more to unlock. Max level doesn't mean he's fully upgraded though. That just means that it gives you all the upgrade slots, and then you can put those chips into those upgrade slots, and you can find better ones and replace them. And these chips give you various benefits. As you can see here, this one gives you plus hacking, plus discretion, gravity, and persistence combo time, while this one gives you bump force and resistance. You will be less slowed down when carrying a ball, and you can throw the ball further. And this one makes you faster. This one makes you jump higher, stuff like that. Pardon. And you can put them in here, as I said, and some of those slots give special benefits. Like these two slots will give you extra benefit if you put 2 chips of the same kind in here. Same with this one. This one gives you special benefits if you put a speeds chip or a jump chip in here, and the same one goes with this one, and stuff like that. This one is a special slot for your little familiar or whatever that is. We can feed it with happiness. I'm not sure what this mechanic does, actually. I couldn't really figure out what this does exactly. I think I'm feeding him chips, but I don't know what it does. I don't understand that quite yet. You can change the color scheme of your character if you want to over here. You can choose different colors for a different part of the character. There are also different character models I will show you later. But let's talk about this a little more. So the benefit of this is you have a feel of progression. There's something to achieve. There's something to collect. Your character gets better. You can customize the character. That's all cool. The big downside to this is that the challenges are not necessarily balanced for your character level. And also in multiplayer, this means, we're going to talk about multiplayer later. In multiplayer, this means that one player might have an advantage over the others just because his character has way better stats than others have. And that's both big issues, especially the balancing thing is for me a big issue. I don't play much multiplayer in this game, so I'm not too worried about the balance issues. But well, it's both are balance issues, but I'm not too worried about the multiplayer balance issues, but I'm very worried about the single player balance issues, and it means that if you get to an area which is supposed to be accessed with better stats, you will have a real hard time beating the challenge. And if you revisit an area you were earlier in, then you might have a very easy time because your stats are really high, and that makes it fairly easy for you to beat that, to beat the challenges of that area. This is by the way, there are multiple areas. I just mentioned that. This is the big first area. I'm not sure how many areas there are actually. From here, I did unlock the sewers, and that's not what I wanted exactly. And the sewers were pretty frustrating for me so far because I really ran into an difficulty spike because the sewers expect me to have better stats apparently, which I don't. I jumped too high. This is this is a problem. And that really highlighted for me the downside of this RPG mechanics. There we go. No, I was not quick enough. Didn't got it. Nah. Can we? No, that's not good. Now I'm screwed because now the reverse mechanic will bump me into the shield again, which will not allow me to get back here, which means... okay, I saved it. Good. Well, let's do something else instead of bumping into that shield over and over again. And so, yeah, I really dislike the RPG mechanics in this. I think they're fairly unnecessary, and the downsides heavily outweighed the upsides. Because I think in a free running game, it should not be about stats. Or that's at least what I enjoy about a free running game. It should be about how well you control your character and how well you, control the mechanics of the game. Or, yeah, and it's still about that. And there's a fair amount of depth to the mechanics. They're not super complex, but they're not as complex as for example Mirror's Edge or something, but they're deep enough to be very enjoyable and very competitive as well. But the RPG element kind of breaks that, as I mentioned. So let's talk about the multiplayer really quickly. Basically, there will be other people joining the server, and they can join the missions you play, and that can be an upside or a downside. And that's really weird as well, actually, because for races, it's actually not beneficial for you to have other players race against you. It's not a good thing, because races work as follows. You challenge an NPC character, but he will not actually race you. He will give you a time, and you have to beat that time. And if you do, then you complete the mission. And if you don't, you have to retry or quit the mission. The thing is, if you have other players in that race as well, and you get second or whatever, not first, but you still beat the NPC time, you will still not win the mission because you did not win the race. So actually having other players in the mission is a big downside for you because it makes it harder to win the race. Oh, this is one of the police hacking thingies, I think. I can hack that to get down my wanted level, which means I will not get, police bots will not be as aggressive towards me. So that's good. I could try getting that, but that seems fairly tricky. Maybe I came from here, right? Yeah. So that's weird. However, the multiplayer thingy is weird. However, there are co-op missions as well. The ball game missions can be played in co-op. You can play them with AI NPC allies, but you can also play them with other players. And from what I've read from other people, that actually becomes mandatory in the later missions because your AI allies will not actually be good enough to make you win. Even if you excel very hard, it will not be enough to defeat the opponents because your allies are just not good enough. So it apparently becomes mandatory to play multiplayer later on, or you will not complete all the ball game missions. So yeah, it's really weird. The multiplayer is beneficial in the co-op missions, maybe a little bit too necessary there, and it actually is hurtful in the racing missions, which is a really weird way of implementing things. I don't know why they decided to do it this way. Oh, god damn it, got captured. Well, so much for that. I guess the camera saw me and spawned the drone. Oh, this time I did not get teleported back. I'm not sure what that depends on. Maybe if I get 3 wanted thingies. That might be it. I got 1 now in the upper right. I just hacked them earlier, if you remember. You should. That was only 2 minutes ago. So, yeah, I quite enjoy the core mechanics of the game, but I dislike the multiplayer part and the RPG part. And dislike them quite a bit, I have to say. But that doesn't kill the game for me, because I don't play this game for competitive reasons or anything like that, or for completion. I just play it for running around the city and jumping around the city and having some fun, chilling out, relaxing. Because for me, this game is very, very relaxing. I play it while talking to friends, while watching videos, or listening to music, or to just chill out after a hard day of work or something like that. And it works really, really well for me like that, because I find the mechanics being highly enjoyable, and I like the colorful art style. It's a bit simplistic, but it's very, very colorful. I like it. A lot of neon and stuff. That looks really cool in my opinion. And the music is pretty fun as well. Gets a little bit repetitive. Not too many different tracks, I think. But if I remember correctly, some of the original composers of Jet Set Radio made music for this as well. So there might be some throwbacks there for people who played those games. So that's pretty cool. By the way, all the collecting stuff goes into this window up here. So the city is split in different zones, and you can unlock other areas as well, as I mentioned earlier, like the sewers and stuff like that. And they have multiple missions, and as you can see, I completed some of them, but not all of them, and I can try to complete them, and that gives me that unlocks other areas and stuff like that. So that's how that works. Okay, so yeah, besides that game being fairly casual for me, I think some people can get competitive enjoyment out of this as well. The challenges are fairly hard to, not to beat usually. Like the races usually have one time to beat, which is fairly easy to get in most cases, as long as you're not running against other players. And then they will have 3 times for medals, and you get like better medals if you score better. And those seem to be really, really, really tough. They are so tough that I imagine that some of them are designed, or maybe most of them are designed with you having higher stats, or really knowing the routes really, really, really well, and optimizing your movement to perfection, because they're really hard to beat. So if you're into that kind of stuff, that might be enjoyable to you. But as I said, it might be diminished a little bit by the RPG mechanics. Oh, this is actually one of the big holo ads, I think. To destroy that, you have to be really quick. It's a double holo ad, isn't it? Yeah, it's a double holo ad. Oh, I'm not gonna get that this way, so I'll just get this one. So yeah. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at the option menu. And actually at the team menu as well. So you create a team. That's not the... Oh yeah, I want to talk about the interface. Let's do that first, actually. I got reminded by this view screen. So this shows you all the chips you have. That's a good thing. It gives you a good overview of all the chips. You can see what they do. Not the exact values, but almost. Like, no, actually it's exact values, never mind. It shows you the values, what they can do, and how good they are, and stuff like that. You don't get that information in this screen, which is a pain. I cannot get an overview of all the chips in here. I can do this. If there's an open slot, I can get this overview. But if there's no open slot, I cannot get this overview, because to place a new slot I have to remove an old one, and removing it means destroying it. So if I want to have another chip in here, I have to destroy this chip. It says the sealed upgrades can't be recovered. Are you sure you want to override this upgrade? I say yes, and it's gone. And now I can open this menu, select a different one, and plug it in. But as long as all the slots are filled up, you cannot open that screen. So it's really hard to compare the chips you have equipped already to the ones you have left in your inventory. And that's, I think, a really big oversight, and makes the RPG element of the game even more frustrating. So I think this is a big UI issue. Anyway, so let's actually go to the oh yeah, there's a mission editor as well. I forgot about all the things I want to talk about. So there's a mission editor which allows you to create your own races or other missions. That's really cool. You can play that against other people as well and stuff like that. That's really neat, I think. I'm not good at doing stuff like that, but I think it's a good addition, because it allows people to create content for the game and enjoy it more, and create really crazy races and stuff like that. So that's cool as well. What I actually wanted to show you is the character screen. How do I get there actually? If I go quit, does it quit the game? I don't think so. No, main menu is very good. So you can play, and now you have a gang or a team, and you can put multiple put multiple characters in that team. You unlock more character models like this one when you do missions and stuff, and they have different stats, or different starting stats at least. As you can see, he has more hover heat, but minus to all stats and minus energy. And so you can see this character is almost leveled up, and yeah, so you can do that. You can customize how they look, and then you can level up multiple characters at once. I don't think there's much else to the whole team thing. It's just a collection of characters, as far as I can tell anyway. Okay, finally, let's talk about the options menu. The options menu is actually really good. I don't think I can criticize anything here. So we have rebindable keys for different categories. That's really nice. You can also double bind them, so we can have 2 different keys for the same action. Also, we have control profiles with 4 presets, and you can add more. So you can save different profiles for controls if you want to play with the controller or with your mouse and keyboard and stuff like that. And therefore, these are the default profiles: mouse and keyboard with the French keyboard, Xbox controller and PS4 controller. But you can also add your own and make your own and save them. So that's a really nice feature. I don't think a lot of people will use that, but it's always nice to have, I guess. So that's really cool. Then the graphic settings are pretty good as well. There is one big slider, and you can change all the options in detail as well. And there's nothing missing here, I think. The only thing I am actually missing is a full screen mode. It says full screen here, but this is actually borderless window mode. There's no real full screen, only window and borderless window, even though it says full screen. But besides that, it's pretty good. You can turn on and off VSync. You have a field of view slider. You can change the drawing or the camera distance behind your character. You have you have different multiplayer options. You can either play completely solo, you can only have friends on your server, or you can play online with randoms. You have separate sound sliders. You have multiple languages, actually a lot of languages in here, including Chinese. So that's pretty good. I really think the option menu is very well done, and it's not lacking anything. So that's a big plus. And yeah, besides that, as I said, I enjoy the game quite a bit. Oh, there's one more thing I didn't talk about because I don't use that feature at all. There are different camera modes. So this is the third-person camera mode. Then there's the first-person camera mode, which I find highly confusing. Why can I not walk now? Did I change the character control profile? I think I did. That might be an issue. Options, controls. Yeah, I changed it to French. Oh, that's not good. So as I said, first-person camera mode, I find it highly confusing. I really prefer the third-person camera mode. And then there's the even more confusing auto camera mode, which is first-person for the most part, but goes third-person if you do the side wall jump. Wait, you slide and jump, and then it goes third-person, and then back to first-person. I just play in third-person. I don't see why you wouldn't, but maybe some people enjoy that as well. So yeah. That's about it. I really enjoy the game, casually, that is. It has some downsides, but I really enjoy playing this game, as I said earlier, while watching a video or talking to friends or just relaxing and chilling out. And I think it's worth sharing that because I think it's very enjoyable. So if you find this enjoyable as well, or at least want to take a look at it, the link to the game is in the description below. It's called Revolt of Gamers. And as I said, it released quite a while ago already, but it still has a player base. I don't think it's huge, but there are some people still playing, and it's quite fun, as I know, mentioned multiple times. I'm TH Pine, thanks all for watching, have fun, and see you next time.